Inflation, your savings' biggest enemy, and here's how to beat it. Meet Sharma ji. He loves his morning walks and never forgets to drink his favorite masala chai at the street corner. He's been drinking chai at the same chaiwala since 1980. No wonder he proudly regales stories of how the tea was sold at just ₹2 when he first started drinking tea at the shop. Of course, how over the years the price of chai has risen and the cup has shrunk, thanks to inflation. So, what is inflation? Inflation, in simple words, refers to the rise in the price of product and services over time. It affects every aspect of life: food, clothing, education, homes, travel, healthcare, gadgets, etc. For instance, if your monthly expense for groceries, maintenance bills and leisure is about ₹30,000 in 2020, it won't be enough to meet the expenses 5 years from now. So, if we assume a 7% rate of inflation, you will need about ₹42,000 in 2025, ₹59,000 in 2030 and ₹1,16,000 in 2040. But before you brush this aside with the simple logic that prices tend to rise over time, consider this. Is your income increasing at the same rate, if not faster? Yes? No? Sometimes? If your answer is a no or sometimes, then unlike Sharma ji, you won't be able to indulge in your favorites the same way. You will soon be faced with serious questions. What will I have to give up to prevent going into debt? How will rising costs change my lifestyle? And if these issues occur while you still have a job, can you even imagine the struggle after you retire, especially if you rely solely on what you save? Inflation can be your savings' biggest enemy, but it doesn't need to. Be like Sharma ji, who managed inflation by choosing investment solutions that potentially offered higher returns. He wasn't a financial wizard. He didn't do any investment mumbo-jumbo. All it took was a little planning and some discipline. He invested a small amount every month throughout his career in investment options that returned more than the rate of inflation. Some SIPs in mutual fund schemes, asset allocation moves, and voila! You, like Sharma ji, can enjoy your chai throughout your life. You may consult your investment advisor to make sure your investments grow faster than the rate of inflation. An investor education and awareness initiative of Aditya Birla Sun Life Mutual Fund. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
For over 140 years, we have partnered India's growth story. A journey with humble beginnings, marked by a meeting of few traders, is today symbolized by a tower that stands for India's glowing financial markets. BSE. Experience the new.
Hello and welcome to the Hyderabad semi-final of BL On Campus Boardroom Challenge 2022. I am Srimati Sridharan. BLoC Boardroom Challenge, a unique competition for B scholars, has 3 levels: a preliminary round, a semi-finals across 8 cities, and a grand finale. The online tests in the prelims assess students' decision-making skills and ability to work in teams. Now in the semi-finals, the students will get a chance to meet and compete with the best minds from top B schools across the country and present these strategies. And the teams that make it to the finals will showcase these skills by solving a live corporate case. Now without further ado, let's jump right into the semi-finals. I request Mr. Vinay Kamath, Senior Associate Editor at the Hindu Businessline and Editor of BLoC, to take over.
Welcome all to the BLoC Boardroom Challenge 2022. The unique case challenge for B schoolers is in its 6th year. In the first year of the challenge in 2017, Liba Chennai was the winner, followed by ISB Hyderabad in 2018 and IIM Ranchi in 2019. SIBM Pune won the contest in 2020, while IIM Shillong won it in 2021. Till the 2019 edition, the semi-final rounds of the contest was held in 8 cities at B schools which hosted the event. The preliminary round in all the previous years has always been online, where students are administered a psychometric test to assess their decision-making skills and ability to work in teams. The grand finale, where B schools which won city-specific semi-finals competed for the grand prize, has been held in Chennai. From the year 2020, keeping in mind the safety of the students and others involved in this contest during the pandemic, it has been conducted entirely online, including the semi-final rounds and the finals as well. This year too, we are conducting the event online. Semi-finals case will test the participating teams on the knowledge of finance, marketing and strategy, and the decision-making skills and ability to work in teams, while the case for the finals will test the teams on the knowledge of the financial sector. It will again be a unique event with technology overcoming the challenge the pandemic has brought about. May the best team win the 2022 BLoC Boardroom Challenge.
Thank you, Mr. Vinay Kamath, for the lovely introduction. I now invite Ms. Akshaya Chandrasekharan to introduce the jury. Neil Ratna Chaubal is currently serving as Content Manager for Investor Education and Distribution Development Team at Aditya Birla Sun Life AMC Limited. He has contributed in the field of corporate training programs across various industries and in academics related to management education for approximately 19 years. Over the years, he has addressed diverse audiences ranging from corporates and educational institutions to clients and distributors of mutual funds. Within the mutual fund industry, he has delivered more than 250 programs for clients and distributors across the western zone of India. He is a postgraduate in MBA from Sri Satya Sai Institute of Higher Learning, Puttaparthi. Shivakumar, more known as SK, is an associate certified coach from International Coach Federation. He is also a neuroscience certified coach, certified practitioner of the Global Leadership 360 Assessment Tool, and Carl Jung Concept certified coach, POSH certified, and Thomas Profiling certified. He has 30 plus years of rich experience across manufacturing, servicing, IT, ITES, hospitality industries and change management, leadership and strategy management, HR, learning and development. SK also facilitates sessions on leadership, behavioral, soft skills apart from mentoring young minds. Thank you, Akshaya. Let us introduce the case study the teams will be tackling. What should be the growth strategy for Environmental Technologies Private Limited? As senior strategy consultants, chart a 5-year path for EnviroTech, suggesting what kind of markets, products and investors will help the company maximize stakeholder value. The teams will be marked for 50 points by each jury member. The team with the highest total wins. Here goes the breakup. Understanding of case, 10 points. Case analysis, 15 points. Solution, 10 points. Presentation, 10 points. And teamwork, 5 points. I now invite team 1 to present their case solution.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Morning. Right. So do tell us your names.
Sir, I am Ayush Naha. This is Anupam Nag.
I'm Ankita Pal.
So welcome to the 6th edition of the Boardroom Challenge. To quickly introduce ourselves, I'm Vinay Kamath of the Hindu Businessline. And we have Mr. Neil Ratna from the Aditya Birla Capital Group and Mr. Shivakumar, an executive coach in Chennai. So that is the jury for today. Right, so all the best for your presentation, and you may, share your screen now.
Sure, sir. Morning all. So we'll be presenting today the 5-year growth strategy for EnviroTech, and for that we have went through the case and found 3 main categories that we will be focusing on. The first is the market or the region. The second is the product, is the industrial product or the consumer product, and the third is the which type of investor that we'll be bringing in for our funds. So for market, through our analysis, we have found out that India will be the best suited region that we can be focused, or that we can focus, because the market share that we are gaining is quite high, and that's why the revenue that is coming is also high, and the bottom line is also growing at a pretty good pace. Now coming to the product, after analyzing all the verticals, we have found out that we should be focusing much more on the industrial products than the consumer products. But in that case, we shouldn't be giving up on the consumer product as a whole, because the consumer product give us the brand identity that we can be in the future, we can be capitalizing it and we can get a much better valuation. And third, the investors, for this case, we think the financial investors will be much better suited for our proposition, because strategic investors are can come into play when we are going abroad, when we are pitching our product in a foreign area where we don't have the expertise to market our product or to sell our product. But when we are focusing on India, I think we need that fund that we require to market our product, and we have the knowledge, we have the expertise to market our product ourselves. So financial investor will be much better suited, as they give a better valuation, and also they are not like demanding 51% of our company. And the main objective, that is to maximize the shareholders' value. So all this dilemma that we have, we need to overcome all this dilemma, the main three things that we have talked till now, to see which is the better suited for the maximizing the shareholders' value. So first we'll start with the region. So from our analysis, we saw that the addressable market in India is 1950 crore, that is given in the case. Now we have analyzed the growth trend, the percentage that is given into absolute numbers, and we have come to this graph that you can see. So this graph shows that India is much better suited for our revenue, for our top line and both the bottom line. So in this case, we have also done this summation of all the regions, like the Bangladesh, Pakistan, Turkey, and Malaysia, with Indonesia and Philippines. And that too, it's not much, it is not a competition to the Indian market. So in the Indian market has a great potential to extend, to increase our profits that we need. Also, for this conversion, we have assumed the present currency rate, that is 81.74 rupees to a dollar. Next, we will be seeing individual products for the markets, like should we need to go India or abroad. Now Ankita will take over this slide.
We focused on how the textile market is already has the textile market in India has a good market, but then now we are focusing on paper and pulp and consumer products. Through our analysis, we also found out the paper and pulp market addressable market is 14,400 crores. And if we see the graph, we have shown the growth profit margins from 2023 to 27, which is growing exponentially linearly for India, but in the other regions it is very low. Hence our focus should be mainly in India as of now. And in consumer products, it's given in the case that the market size is around 60,000 crore. So in consumer product, we need to maximize our potential in India before we move on to abroad. Hence our strategy is mainly focusing on going in India, expanding in India. The next is the industrial or commercial. We saw that in industrial products, the growth is high. But in commercial, there is we are still lagging behind, as our profits are in negative for the first 2 years. But after first 2 years, from 2025 to 2027, we are profitable in the market. Hence, we first need to maximize our profits in the industrial market and then proceed with the consumer products, because the consumer products will be at a loss for the first 2 years. But since if we are focusing on consumer product, we will get a three times valuation. Hence, we should be focusing on a few consumer products. As we can see through the graphs that the 2023-2024, we have a net loss, but after 25, our profits are growing steadily. And even with a little revenue, a little cost, we can increase our revenue to maximum. Then we come to the industrial products. As we can see in the paper, pulp and paper, they are not investing in any products for pigments, binders and dyes, or finishing or specialty coating, which has a growth percent of 4%, while compared to processing and pulp and fiber, which has a growth percent of 3%. So we need to focus on R&D in industrial products, pulp and paper, and even in textile, where the dyeing auxiliaries and washing off are not do not have any products at the moment. For washing of dyeing auxiliaries, the growth rate is around 10%, and yet there hasn't been any product on this market segment. Hence, we need to focus first on R&D to increase the number of products in these areas, so that we can capitalize on the market that is already existing. Next, we get to strategy.
So, hello sirs, I will be talking about the crucial decision between strategic or financial, since it was mentioned in the case study that if we take in strategic investors, we would have to dilute our stake. So, since we have we are not yet planned to move abroad, so we'll be, I think it's better for us to focus on financial investors. It's better for us to influx cash into the company instead of diluting our stakes. So basically, as you can see in the data, like my members mentioned, we need stability in the organization. But for now, I guess I think we have enough cash to continue for 6 months, and we don't have to face a liquidity crunch. So anyways, since from the data we found out that our industrial products are basically our cash cows. We are taking cash, we are making them, we're taking cash from them, and we're going to invest in our consumer products. Because the reason behind it, it is since going in a B2C going through the B2C way will give us more valuation compared to B2B. So if not now, then after some years, let's say after 5 years, it will provide an easy option for the initial promoters to take an exit and also get handsome rewards with that. Along with that, we can also raise money from the public, since due to once it is a B2C brand, it is well known among the among the general Indian public. So it will be like the brand awareness will be there. So it will be much more easier to raise funds after 5 years. But for now, we think we should not dilute our stake, and we should simply continue with our financial investors. So the main objective was maximizing stakeholder value. So like we discussed from the data which we analyzed, we found out that we have to invest in those areas where the market size is high and it is growing at a very good rate. For example, the areas like industrial and consumers, just as I said, we need to take out cash which we are earning from industrial, because the industrial products are giving us a very good margin. And compared to that, the consumer products division is actually providing us a loss for the first 2 years. And then we are going, like the trends show that we are going to reap benefits after the second year. So in that case, we should be focusing on industrial products for now, and then invest those things, like the earnings from there into consumer products. So also Along with that, also the products in which we don't have so much, like there are some products in both textile and industrial paper and pulp, like textile and paper and pulp verticals.
4 minutes left.
Yes, sir. Where we don't even we don't produce at all, or we produce at a very minimal quantity. So that is an area where we can increase production and just add on to the margins which we are already getting from those two verticals. So yes, and so this was the basically the complete our strategy which we thought would be suitable for the company mentioned, and yes, so that will be all, and we have come to the end of our presentations, and we are open for questions.
Yeah, you.
Yeah, the financial gentleman who was talking about the last two slides, honestly speaking, is I was not able to really hear you because you're maybe far away from the mic, but I'm not sure about Vinay and Neil. In case I'm sure they'll address that. They've heard that. Initially, you talked about the market, and I was a little surprised the initial stages, but later on, yes, Ankita came in back. But initially, it looked as if you took it for granted textile industry anyway, it's going to grow. So let's not focus on that. Let's focus only on pulp and the consumer product. I don't know why you took that route initially, but later on, I think one slide Ankita came back and then talked about textile, not focusing on certain aspects there. Good, but I think I leave it to Vinay and Neil because I was not really able to hear on the numbers part of it. My only question here is that you say that you want to go into the financial investors, right? Instead of strategy. When did you plan for exit for them, or what is the exit plan which you had?
Sir, after 5 years, like after 2027.
After 2027.
So actually, we are generating enough cash from the industrial products that we are selling. We see a very good growth in there. So the reserves and surpluses will be enough for us to invest in the consumer product that time. So at that time, there can be an exit plan for the investors.
Okay, and what is the valuation that you are going to give to the financial listing, and what is the dilution part of it you have planned there?
Sir, valuation we think we'll give on the basis of sales, because for now we will have to construct a proper balance sheet, and we will need to see how much we are earning on the basis, like earning upon spending. So for now, I think we should go upon sales, and I think if we fairly value the company right now, it should be around 5 times of the revenue.
Okay. Right, Neil, I just leave it to you. As I told you, I was not able to hear much. So,
yeah, sure. Good presentation, team. And I think a couple of questions that come to my mind, quickly, because you're going back and forth on the consumer products. At certain places, you're saying that it will give you better valuation.
Yes.
And also that you were struggling with the movement from losses to it becoming profit making, and you went on to a right mix as of now with 80% and 20%. So just taking into consideration those 2-3 pointers, what is it that you feel you should do, or rather you should suggest ETPL in terms of how they can ensure that the time period for the consumer products is faster in terms of moving from losses to profits, given that you're focusing very less on the mix right now, and at the same time you're looking at better valuation from this product going forward. So what is your thought process exactly there?
So, so as we saw that initially we are starting with this mix of 80 and 20%, but the consumer product is giving us a break even after like 24. So it's from 25. So in that case, and it is growing at a much rapid pace. So it's not just a linear growth, but it's growing exponentially. So in that case, we can like gradually increase our product mix, like the increase our investment from the industrial to the consumer product. So it will be initially it will be 80-20, but eventually in the gradual years it will be like 70-30, and it will grow, the consumer product will grow on, because it gives us the brand identity first of all, and that's a major thing. If we go for a public offering, so that gives us a like identity, and we can get a much rich valuation from that consumer brands. So initially since we have a cash crunch at the moment, so we are targeting the industrial product to get our reserves, to like increase our reserves, and then we'll slowly invest those reserves, the funds, in the consumer product. That's the plan. And that is, I think, the 5 years that we have given, the 5 years is enough for us to get a 50-50 mix.
Okay, just a quick follow-up question is, what are the two top challenges that you see when it comes to, promoting a B2C related product in this case, as compared to, your expertise in B2B?
So actually, sir, there are a lot number of products in the market at present. There are some new brands that have also come out, and we can see those in the online, they have the online presence. So they are not doing much marketing in like the mass marketing, or they are not they are not spending a lot on the marketing part. So they're focusing on the influencers or the word of mouth marketing. So in that case, we have the big players in the consumer product as well as the small players coming up. So it is very difficult to like establish a brand identity in these cases. So we have to think through the product that we have come up with, and we have to think the USP, and we have to focus on the USP, and we need to promote it through the online channels that is going on at the moment, like the influencers and the social media campaigns. So these are the.
Yeah, we can't hear you actually. At least I'm not able to hear.
Oh, I can't either.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
The products we are selling are 15-20% more expensive than regular products that we are getting. If we compare the big players as well as the small players, our products are 15-20% more expensive because it's more sustainable. But still the sustainability growth has not come to the consumer market, and they still choose products based on the price range that is available. And hence that is a major challenge that we need to break through while we're promoting out the product.
Okay. So existing competition and pricing are the two challenges that you see. Fine. Thank you for that. And Vinay, over to you.
Yeah. Hello, team.
Hello.
Just as an aside, I mean, I think you heard the expression "clothes maketh the man." So I know it's a contest, but it's you're simulating a presentation to the senior management once you enter corporate life. So I would request you, maybe the next time you go for such a competition, don't come in t-shirts.
Oh,
it's too casual, right? I know it's a contest.
sure.
Some smart casuals, that's fine. Or the other participants have been coming in blazers and jackets. So just a tip of, we're not going to give you negative marks for that, but I was just pointing out that it looks a bit casual, and it's a contest, but we're supposed to be senior management, and surely in corporate life you won't be coming in t-shirts like these, right? So having said that, so you think the company's financial objectives will be met in 5 years, or do you think it's being too ambitious?
So, given the addressable market of India, I think the objectives will be met in the 5 years. From our calculation, we have seen that it is going to be fulfilled.
Operating only in the Indian market or tapping international for?
No, operating only in Indian market.
Okay. And when do you recommend that it makes a consumer products foray?
Sorry, sir?
No, when do you recommend that it makes a consumer products foray? I mean, because that's the case says that it will be offer better margins. So it will be a simultaneous foray in both industrial and consumer products, in your opinion?
Yes, sir. So basically, we will be changing.
Can't hear you, please.
So, sir, basically, we will be changing the mix as we progress like through the years. For now, the mix is 80-20. Industry is 80, consumer is 20. As per 2022 end. By 2023, 2024, we'll be changing the mix gradually and we'll be bringing more of consumer products into fold. As we had presented in the slide, the net profit from consumer products is going manifold. Like from our projection for 2025, it's 5 crores, then 21 crores, then 38 crores. So it is growing at a very good speed. So that is the way we think we should move going forward.
Right. Okay. Good.
Okay, just a couple of suggestions, one taking off from Vinay also. Next time onwards, when you're making a presentation, please, no negative marks for what I'm saying, but I'm just telling you, practice on the thing, because what's happening is that 3 of you are sitting in one laptop.
Yes.
And somewhere the mic is not picking up your voice. So if you are sitting in 2 different rooms and practice this, you would have found this out. And you could have managed that. So that becomes embarrassing, right? You're assuming it's a COVID situation and you are presenting to the senior management on a Zoom call. It becomes very, very embarrassing for you on a personal visit, right? Second, this thing is, I know that it's very obvious that you have worked on numbers. It's very obvious that you have worked on numbers. Presenting an Excel sheet showing the numbers and how it is growing would have given better clarity. When, how, it's because I think if I'm not mistaken, you had shown a final turnover of 130 crores, right?
Sorry, sir?
Is that the number you mentioned? 130?
130, yes, sir, for the consumer.
How did you arrive at 130? If you had shown that Excel sheet, would have been much more clearer for which are the products, which product takes off,
Okay.
which year, how. So it gives a much more clarity to the board. Otherwise, you need to explain at every point of time.
Got it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Cheers, sir.
Thank you. Thanks, team. Very good effort.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, team.
All the best. All the best.
Thank you, Team 1. We have a special education AV from Aditya Birla Sun Life Mutual Fund.
Life is like cricket. When you get thrown a googly, how you bat is the difference between hitting a 6 and getting out. A simple example of a googly in life is your laptop crashing while you're working on an important business presentation. If you're smart and prepared, you should have your files backed up on the cloud and should recover from this loss quickly. If you are not prepared, you will have lost years of work. A complicated googly is the 2020 pandemic that shut the world down and disrupted businesses and economies globally. If you already had an online business module or quickly added one, you continued to work like normal. If you didn't, you probably struggled. As organizations, as employees, we try to plan for unexpected situations that could disrupt work. But as an individual, are you prepared to handle googlies like a medical emergency, a natural disaster, a recession, or another pandemic without draining your savings and generating a mountain of debt? If your answer is no, then it is time to set up a contingency fund that can handle life's googlies. What is a contingency fund? Like the name suggests, it is a fund that may help you survive in an emergency. A contingency fund may give you breathing room if your salary isn't paid or if you lose your job. You may not be stumped on how to pay your child's school fees, utility bill, and EMI. Or worse, if you can put food on the table. How does a contingency fund help in these situations? Well, a good contingency fund is seeded with 6 to 9 months' salary. Do not panic. Yes, that's a lot of money. But you don't need to have it today. You will accumulate it slowly over time. All you have to do is stay committed and only use the fund for true emergencies. This means no spending it to upgrade your phone when it still works or using it to fund that spontaneous friend's trip. How to create a contingency fund? Think of a contingency fund as a systematic investment for unexpected situations. Step 1. Set up a contingency fund account. It can be a savings account, a liquid fund account, or any other type. Just make sure it is relatively safe, easy to access, and separate from your regular savings account. After all, you don't want to spend it accidentally. Step 2. Set achievable targets. When you are playing a match, you don't reach 400 runs on the first ball or even the first over. You keep your team motivated by setting smaller targets that will help you achieve the desired outcome. Similarly, set yourself smaller targets. Once you reach it, raise the bar higher until you have collected at least 6 months' salary. Step 3. Make your contingency fund a part of your financial plan. Analyze your existing income and expenses and find areas which can be tightened to give you a winning outcome. This should ensure you aren't struggling or forgetting to meet your targets every month. Step 4. Set up an automatic systematic contingency fund process. Start an auto debit to transfer your budgeted amount into your contingency fund account. Remember to increase the amount as your salary and expenses grow. Step 5. Replenish your systematic contingency fund. Every time you dip into your contingency fund, make sure you replenish it. This will ensure you are financially prepared to take on the next emergency, if any. Follow these steps with an aim to build a fund that could sustain your quality of life during an emergency. Start today and aim to be prepared to manage any googly that life may bring. An investor education and awareness initiative of Aditya Birla Sun Life Mutual Fund. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
I invite Team 2 to present their case solution.
Welcome Utkarsh, Sartak, and who's the third member? Aditya. Right. So welcome to the 6th edition of the BLoC Boardroom Challenge. Thank you for your participation. Just a quick introduction. I'm Vinay Kamath of the Businessline. To introduce you to the other jury members, we have Mr. Neel Ratna Chaubal. He's from the Aditya Birla Capital Group. And we have Mr. Shivakumar, an executive coach based in Chennai. Right. So without further ado, let's start your presentation. You can start sharing your screen now.
Morning, everyone. Our team is here to present our plan for the 5-year growth strategy for Environmental Technologies Private Limited. I would like to start by a brief introduction about our company. Environmental Technologies was started by 3 founders who were having an experience in running large businesses and had held C-level positions in their career. They were looking to do some good in society. One thing led to another, and they developed a unique technology using some base seeds culture. The company realized that it had developed surfactants without using any chemicals or plant-based surfactants. They realized that they could make a lot of products in the surfactant genre, and there's a very large scope of products. The company right now has 3 verticals, which are textile, pulp and paper, and consumer products. The unique selling point of our company is its surfactant. It is 100% biodegradable, non-toxic to both humans and environment. Now I'll be explaining a brief about surfactant. Surfactant is a chemical like a detergent, which when added to a liquid lowers its surface tension and increases the spreading and wetting capabilities of the liquid. In order to make our plan, we decided to gain knowledge regarding the industry use of surfactant in the 3 industries in which our company has its vertical. In the textile industry, surfactants are used for 3 main processes: sourcing, lubrication, and fabrication. Surfactants act as a foam-free wetting agents for even impregnation, even out the dyeing process, and spread out dye that isn't fixed during soaping to make it last longer. Surfactants help use pigments with small particles. This makes better use of textile dyes and reduces the amount of dye left over, which is better for the environment. In the paper and pulp industry, surfactant makes paper soft and absorbent, which is important in tissues. They clean the paper making screens and section loaders and makes you use the machinery very well. Surfactant takes the printing ink out of recycled paper, making it ready to be used again. Surfactants are needed to clean the rollers on the printing press. In the consumer product industry, surfactants added to cleaning agents like detergent allow the detergent to mix into water, helping cleaning agents remove water dirt from the surface being cleaned. Without surfactants, soaps wouldn't mix with the water, but would just roll off the water, making the cleaning process much more difficult. As we got to know the usage of surfactant in this industry, we came to know that the market is very large for surfactant, and considering the company surfactant is made without any chemical, this could lead to be a very important aspect for the 5-year growth strategy, as industries and people both are now very environment as well as cost conscious nowadays. Further will be explained by my group member Sarthak.
So right now, for our company to do the company analysis, we choose the SWOT model because that's the basic model that we can help. So coming on to the textile vertical, the strength of the textile vertical is that it caters to both domestic and export-oriented mills. It was the first vertical of the company, and for the majority of the time, it was remembered as a textile company. The products are very sustainable. The weakness is that the large part of the margin goes to the distribution channels, and so there is a little bit left for the small jobbers. There is a large product adoption cycle and a 2-month contact to commercial cycle. The opportunities here are the products are 100% biodegradable, but they are performance driven. So the threats to this textile vertical are it's a highly competitive market. It can address only 50% of the market in the coming years. The recession condition building in the West highly affect the market condition in Europe and America. Moving on to the pulp and paper vertical, which is the second new dimension of the company. The first product was a huge success. 50% of the products are new, and the rest 50% are drop-in products. The weakness of this pulp and paper vertical was the performance-based products. These are the performance-based products, and they are paid only when the demands are met. There is a constant change in the raw materials quality required, for which it is difficult to adjust the variation and analyze them. The company has already exhausted 25% of the total potential market. The opportunities here are all business are currently limited to India only. Company can subsequently look into the international market. It is still early days for the vertical, and we think that this vertical can grow further. The threats are the all variables needed to be understood properly. Our R&D team needs to understand all the variables. The dosing tanks that are required for production, they are from chemical suppliers. So that stand against our company's motive, because we are a green company and we can't afford any chemical usage. The raw material quality in this industry also keeps on changing, which resulting in high variables. In the consumer product vertical, it is well accepted among consumers. Good quality, fully biodegradable, non-toxic, and we also have a Green Pro certifications. We want a product that is helpful for our children, our pets. So I think this is the major strength, and we must look into it. The weakness is that our sales has not been so good in the online platform, and it stagnated after a certain period of time. We thought of doing it offline, but we failed miserably due to high demand of modern trade. The opportunities is that the valuation multiples in the B2C segment compared to the B2B market that we're currently catering to. There's a huge market size in India for the household cleaning products. The threats here are we are building a consumer brand that's a tough given the stage we are in. A large investment is required. So right now we'll be moving on to the financial analysis that will be explained by my partner Aditya.
Now I'll be explaining the financial aspect of the company. First, coming to the textile chemical market. It is highly competitive market due to low differentiation and price sensitivity. Given the complexity, our company may be able to address only 50% of the addressable market in the next 5 to 7 years, and it also gets affected by the situations happening in Europe and America. The market reaches around 65%. In India, the growth of the company is expected to be around 7.6%, and expected market share over the years is increasing, reaching around 4.32%, highest among the rest of the other countries. So it should invest in India, but it should not focus much on the textile chemical market, as it has already reached its saturation point, and so it is a cash cow segment for the company and should take out as much as possible from the market without investing much. Now, coming to the pulp and paper chemical market, the market reach is around 16%. Currently, all its businesses come from India, and it is very good product compared to with low price added with good quality. Despite some challenges and some variables yet to be understood, it has huge potential in Middle East and Europe. In India, the growth is expected to be around 3.84%, and the expected market share is to be around 9.13%, along with low fixed cost. So it should invest heavily in India. Apart from that, in the Middle East, the growth rate is high at about 5%, and expected market share is about 2% by 2027, along with low fixed costs compared to other countries. So it is a feasible option to invest in Middle East with low risk involved after some years having established stable control in India, for example, 3 to 4 years. Now coming to the last segment, consumer durable products. It is a great product, as it is not only because it is excellent in performance, but also biodegradable, non-toxic. It is well supported not only in offline, but not only in online, but also offline, because it is fairly priced. The market in India is huge, so it should first make a strong grip in India and then enter the foreign market, having established great control in the Indian market. The sales volume of online and offline presence of the company is increasing every year, along with the gross profit margin volume. The company's EBITDA, that is earning before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization, will reach break-even at 2021, and from there on, it is increasing. So this is a good sign for the company. And company, as it suggests that our company resources are being efficiently utilized, and there is growth in the sales revenue of the company. But the company's objective to achieve the particular EBITDA according to the standard set will be difficult to achieve as per the current scenario. So to meet its required threshold, the company needs to increase its sales volume by investing in other countries, by making its presence felt, and also increasing its market reach in the other countries. But that would be feasible only after some years, having established a strong grip in India, and the company needs to revise its current projection and a standard set. Now, further on, Sarthak would be explained during the conclusion.
So after analyzing all the financial and all the positioning decisions, the conclusion that we can come up with is that we need a R&D team. We need a huge chunk of investment in the research and development segment. So for bringing in investors, we thought of bringing in a combination of both strategic and financial investors. We don't want to give entire stakes to either the strategic or the finance, because both are essential, but we want to limit themselves up to 60% only. In the textile segment, we need to figure out ways in which our product would reach to the end consumer and minimize the distribution channel so as to scale the profit margin. Given the probability of recession in Europe and America, and analyzing the size of markets in Pakistan and Turkey, and the relatively modest startup cost for these countries, we would advise a textile vertical to focus on these markets and the domestic markets of India. In the paper and pulp vertical, we need to find an alternative to chemical dosing tanks and then cater to small and medium scale industries. Apart from that, we would like to extend our business to Middle East. To achieve our profitability goals, it's high time that we focus our attention to the B2C segment rather than the B2B segment. We need to reach more consumers cost effectively. We need to partner and have our product in most supermarkets and hypermarkets across India. To scale up the valuation, the consumer brand, the Pro Earth needs to be established. The best way of investing in marketing without a huge chunk of money is that we go on public campaigns, we do digital marketing. we will be also having a market research team so as to study the constant changes in market all over the world. We will be coming up with a team where we would be exploring all the opportunities in the low cost in all these markets across world. And for that reason, we think that we will be diversifying our team into certain segments such as the marketing team, the financial teams, and our strategic team. So that's the solution that we wanted to propose. So that's all from our side. We would like to ask you if you have any questions from your side.
You can unshare. Thank you. Nice presentation, nice analysis. You have done a good analysis that you presented. One suggestion is that you are making a presentation to the board of directors of ETPL. So you actually wasted 6 minutes of your time talking about ETPL to them. You are trying to sell ETPL to ETPL. Conversation about ETPL, which you could have avoided. Reason why I'm saying how it would have helped is, in your slides where you had the numbers, it was all very, very, very small. You understand? You try to cram all the numbers into one slide. And what Aditya was speaking is what we have you need strain to look into that. Right? Now, instead of that, if you had single slides of your Excel sheets and you're explaining it much more, because you are also running, because of lack of time, you're also trying to run. So if you had gone a little slowly, the clarity would have been much, much better. You understand how the whole thing works, because otherwise what happens, the interest for the board member is lost. It is nice, but I lose interest. I mean, because I cannot strain myself looking at something. Correct? Okay, having said that, you also said that you wanted to shift from paper to pulp to 3 to 4 years time, right? Or paper and pulp to 3 to 4 years shifting to international market. I mean, why you are not very sure of when to shift?
So the time frame actually is 3 years. For example, if it does not go our way, so we have kept an additional grace period that it could be even after 4 years.
And that why I asked this question is why I'm surprised is that you had your numbers worked out, which means you could have been very confident about your period. Now, suddenly when you're not telling me this, are you not sure of your own numbers?
No, sir, we are very sure of our own numbers, but we have kept a grace period so that if the things does not work our way, then we can extend it. We can go after 4 years.
Okay. The other understanding which I wanted to know from Sarthak is that, the conclusion slide which mentioned about you want to shift from B2B to B2C, right? Now, the initial slides when you're telling ETPL about ETPL, you are praising ETPL for the way they have moved in textile, the way they moved in paper and pulp, etc. And suddenly in the conclusion you're saying let's shift from B2B to B2C. Are you trying to tell me that you want to slowly do away with B2B completely?
So I don't want to completely go away from the B2B segment, but our gradual focus should be on the B2C segment, because right now we are a company who requires a lot of investments, and for that we are giving away a lot of stakes. So we need profit to sustain. So for that reason, the B2C segment is the market that we can cater to, because there's a huge demand in this segment.
Fair enough. Fair enough. What was a percentage that you had in mind? If you're not completely shifting, there should have been some percentage in mind, right?
So, sir, we can for the first in the textile industry, we are going to remain as we were focusing on our strengths. We don't want to invest more of R&D into it, research and development into it. In the paper and pulp segment, we can invest around 30 to 40%, but we think that around more than 50% we must invest in the household segments.
Okay. So when you are moving, so we have been a very strong B2B company, right?
Yeah.
Now we are trying to get into the B2C.
Yeah.
What are the concerns that I should be looking at? What is it that you think that I should be addressing?
The first thing is that when we enter B2C segment, we require a lot of market studies, because selling to businesses and selling to consumers are two different things. The second thing is that we require a lot of money for marketing. and we don't have a strong presence in the minds of consumers. So for that reason, we need to partner with certain organization. We need to come up with innovative ideas that can cater to a large segment without without money going from our pockets. So we need to come up with some strategic decisions. So as I mentioned, we can go on public campaigns where we can cater to young youths because they are much more interested in green sustainable products. So for that reason, we can also go on social media campaigns, social media marketing techniques. So by this method, we can cater to them.
Okay. The last question I have is you wanted to go with both strategic and financial investors, right? You wanted to have a mixture of both.
Yeah.
I know that you briefly explained, but can you explain in detail why you thought about that? What is the dilution they're going to do for individually? Is it really going to work out? Not going to work out? How is it going to help?
So the thing is that if we bring in all the financial investors, they would be more interested in the numbers. They won't be able to help us with how the company can progress, or if we're in a crisis situation or a tense situation, they won't be able to think or suggest us ways to come out of that. And if we bring in all the strategic investors, we have to give in a huge stake from our companies. So we want a mixture of both so that we can use the strategic investors whenever we are in the need of them. We don't also have to give a large amount of stakes of our company. So for that reason, we wanted a mixture of both financial as well as strategic investors.
Okay. Neil?
Thanks, team. I think detailed analysis that was nice. But I think the golden question is, do you think the objectives are achievable?
Sir, I think the objectives right now, as per the current scenario, would not be achievable because the EBITDA which the company is trying to achieve, as per the current revenues and sales, it is not entering into the foreign market. So it would not be achievable according to the current scenario. But after some years, for example, when we'll be entering into the foreign market after 4 years, so that time it would be achievable. But right now we need to revise our current projections.
Okay, good. And you spoke about a lot of activities that you would do to promote the brand. You in fact mentioned that building consumer brand in the consumer products vertical would be a tough proposition, right? And you have certain promotion cost figures. Do you think that is sufficient for you? I mean, is it enough for the kind of brand building that you want to do?
Sir, as it was mentioned that we already have a presence in e-commerce platforms, so people know our brand. The thing is that we are not like in the minds of them. So in order to establish that we as a company, we have a strong presence and we want to do something for the society, we needed to do this kind of activities like those workshops, and then we can also do a word of mouth campaigning. We can also do public activities. So for that reason, whenever people will hear the name of our brand and they will see the certain brand in the e-commerce platform, gradually their interest in our company will develop. Yes, it's true that we need to incur certain cost, but the benefit that will be coming over the years will outweigh the cost that we'll be bearing right now.
Okay, just a follow-up question is, I agree with what you're saying, and let's say that you go ahead with that and people start perceiving this as a marketing gimmick rather than you being someone genuine in the eco-friendly area. How will you tackle that challenge? You all can discuss it amongst yourselves also if you want.
So this was the point we have not thought right now. Maybe we need to work this out.
Sure.
So the first thing is that we have a Green Pro certification. So we can also capitalize on that, because we as a company, we have already stood up for green products. So our company's basic motto was for sustainable development. And yes, it's true that people will perceive this as a marketing gimmick, but when we go and publicly connect with them, so that's why we have this public campaign methods and the public campaign workshops. When we publicly campaign with them, and then through the word of mouth, this about our product will spread from consumer to consumer, then I don't think that people will think this as a marketing gimmick, because people will connect with our product, given that there are a lot of people, a lot of families in India and across the globe where the childrens are there. They like to play on floors rather than playing on pets or something, and there are a lot of pets also there. So they're more concerned about their health aspect, and provided that our products are competitively priced just 20% more than the popular products, while all other green products, they are like 100% more than what these popular products are. So I think that at a certain point of time, people will realize the importance of our product. So we will be coming up with ways in which we can connect with them at a personal level in a much better way, and by incurring low cost as well. So for right now, this is our plan.
Okay, thanks. And one final question is, which area do you want strategic investors, and why? You mentioned that you want a balance of financial and strategic investors.
Yes, sir.
So just a question on that.
Yes, sir. So I think that we are well versed with the textile industry. So and we also have a strong grip over the paper and pulp industries. So we want our strategic investors more to be focused on the consumer product industries, but we can also have some investors giving us ideas in the paper and pulp industry too, because these two are important for the growth of our company. And in the paper and pulp industry, our R&D team is working upon certain new products that will be coming up. So I think we can help ourselves to build up on these industries, but we are relatively new to the consumer product industries. So I think our strategic investors will be quite helpful in this segment.
Okay, sure. Thank you, team. And over to you, Vinay.
Yeah, team, good presentation, good understanding of the case facts and your analysis. And but like Mr. SK said, Mr. Kumar said that try and not jam your PowerPoint with too many details. The eyes will just glaze over, and there's only so much you can take in a PPT. So just keep it simple, and then maybe explain your points. Yeah, and also there's no need for you to repeat the case facts, because we are supposed to be the senior management and you're presenting to us. So obviously you don't need to give us the case facts. Also, just the point about what Neil was saying about investors, the case itself mentions if you have a strategic investor, it says the investor, if you get somebody from the textile industry, may not be interested in the paper business or the consumer business. Or you get somebody from the paper industry, may not be interested in the other two areas. I think the case mentions that. So in that case, so what is it, a Hobson's choice? I mean, would you prefer a financial investor, or would you prefer a strategic investor? And how will you convince them? Because they may not be interested in the other businesses of EPTL. So would you rather go for a financial investor?
No, sir. So we'll still keep strategic as well as financial investors. As we'll try to project our growth in the upcoming all the other verticals in which they are not interested, as our main focus is to get them in consumer product vertical. So we'll try to make an analysis about the paper and pulp industry vertical as to how it can grow in the upcoming future, and then we'll let them decide. As because our growth rate is EBITDA is positive plus right now, and it can lead to a more positive in the future. So we'll try to convince them.
Also, you recommended that you go in more for a B2C strategy as the company grows. Is that right?
Yes.
So would that be what would you look at? More an online foray, or would it be a mix of modern trade and online? Because modern trade will be a very expensive proposition.
Yes, so we have a presence on the online store, in the all e-commerce platform like that. So I think that mostly so I think we have a strong online presence, but the thing is that our brand is not recognized. So for that reason, we will be focusing more on the online platform, but we will be having partnership with the supermarkets and hypermarkets in the crowded areas over India, where we'll be having some of our products, so that we can showcase our products. We can make a presence of our products built in the mind of customers.
So I think I heard you say that the company's financial objectives will not be achievable, right, in the 5 years, the 5-year time frame?
Yes, sir. As per the current scenario, it will not be. We need to revise the financial projections.
Right. Good. Case presentation. And just move the screen down. We cannot see your face. Right. Okay. Good. Right. So good understanding of the case, good presentation. Just some little glitches here and there, which we pointed out to you. And maybe next time you make a presentation, I think you should sit in separate rooms with separate laptops. So we solve this problem of the echo and make it a smoother presentation. So all three of you have come in with some WorkX to B-School, or?
No, sir. I am a fresher.
I am also a fresher.
Okay. What about Sarthak?
And he is also a fresher. His voice is.
Oh, excellent. Good grasp for of the case. Right. But all the best to all three of you, and you may log off now. Thank you.
Good job. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Team 2. We have another special education AB from Aditya Birla Sun Life Mutual Fund.
Benefits of SIP, STP, SWP. Win with SIP. This is Sid. He recently started working and wishes to invest his money in the stock markets. But his salary isn't much, and he has only a small sum of money left to invest every month. While he was contemplating on what he could do, his elder sister Reena came to his rescue. An avid investor herself, Reena introduced him to the magic trio of SIP, STP, SWP.
Don't worry, you don't really need a large amount to start investing. You can invest as little as 500 rupees weekly, monthly or quarterly using SIP, that is Systematic Investment Plan in mutual funds. And before you wonder how it could help, let me tell you, a SIP has many advantages. 1. It lets you start small. And when you invest every month, you average your purchasing cost. So, you needn't worry about timing the market. For example, let's assume you invest 500 rupees every month. Given the market volatility, the cost of purchasing a unit of a mutual fund will change every month. Say, in the first month, you may get 40 units for 500 rupees. In the second month, you may also get 25 units for the same amount and perhaps more in the next month, say 45 units. This difference in price averages out over time, giving you the best possible price per unit over time. 2. You not only make your money work, you also make time work in your favor by starting to invest sooner than later. 3. You also benefit from the power of compounding by reinvesting the profits earned from your investments in mutual funds. Let me explain. Suppose you invest 500 rupees per month for a year. In 12 months, you will have invested 6,000 rupees. Let's assume your money grows at 8% during the year. So, your investments will be worth 6,480 rupees at the end of year 1. Now, if you leave the entire amount invested in the fund and continue with your SIP, by the end of the second year, your investment would be 12,480 rupees. That is 6,480 rupees plus 6,000 rupees. But given the 8% returns, you would have earned a profit of 998.4 rupees. And this amount will continue to compound as long as you stay invested.
This is quite enlightening. But sis, I have a doubt. When I get a bonus at the end of the year, how do I invest it? I don't want to take the risk of timing the market.
I'm glad you are catching on, Sid. You just need to be smart with your investments. You can park your bonus in a low-risk debt or liquid fund initially, and then set up a STP, that is a systematic transfer plan, which will transfer fixed amounts from this scheme to other debt and equity schemes regularly and give you all the advantages of a SIP. So you don't have to worry about timing the market. And while the SIPs happen, your money isn't lying idle in your bank. It is earning interest in debt or liquid fund. And just like a SIP, STP allows you to set the duration of your investment period. For example, if you get a 50,000 bonus, you can choose to invest 5,000 in a single scheme or 1,000 in 5 different schemes over the next 10 months. You can make this choice based on what goal you wish to achieve.
You have a solution for everything. I have one more question though. I can keep my investments going every month, but how can I withdraw, say after 10 years, without the hassle of timing the markets?
Well, Sid, this one is easy too. Let's assume you are investing for your retirement funds. Once you retire, you can turn your SIP into a SWP, that is a systematic withdrawal plan, and get a fixed income at regular intervals. So if you need 25,000 rupees per month to meet your expenses, you can set up the SWP to deposit 25,000 rupees into your bank account every month or 75,000 rupees every quarter. SWP gives you the flexibility to choose. A SWP not only aims to give you protection against market volatility, it keeps your money working for you. So, you see, when you SIP, STP or SWP, you aim to win on multiple levels, today as well as tomorrow.
An investor education and awareness initiative of Aditya Birla Sun Life Mutual Fund. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
I invite Team 3 to present their case solution.
2 of you in your team?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, just a quick introduction to the jury. I'm Vinay Kamath of the Businessline, and welcome to the 6th edition of the BLoC Boardroom Challenge. We have Mr. Neel Ratna Chaubal of the Aditya Birla Capital Group, who's part of the jury, and Kumar, who's an executive coach who's based in Chennai, and he's the one who set the psychometric test for the which you cracked to be in the semi-finals today. Right. So what are your names? Sadvita and
Adokshaj, sir.
Adokshaj. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. All the best. You may start your presentation now.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So, good morning to the board members. I am Sadvita and my team, my teammate Adokshaj. We are the senior consultants of the strategy team, and we are here to propose a 5-year business plan for ETPL. So, moving forward, these are the key issues that we have identified for ETPL that needs to be addressed. The first thing, should the company continue in B2B or should it move to B2C? Because B2C is one such industry where the revenue is huge and we can increase the valuation of the company. And the next thing is, should the company go for the financial investors or switch to strategic investors at this point of time in the company? And the third issue that we have identified is that positioning of the consumer products. So the consumer product is a very fairly new industry for us. We are entering like it's just been an year. So the positioning of the products is very important to gain the market share and generate profits for this industry. And the one more issue that we have identified is lack of awareness of the consumer products. The consumers are not aware that we are present in this industry, and there can be a household care cleaning product which is 100% safe, biodegradable, and is a very clean product to use and go green. So these are the 4 issues that we have identified for ETPL and that needs to be addressed, that we are going to address today. And there's a quick overview of ETPL before suggesting the strategy. So the first vertical that ETPL is in is textile. Some things we have identified about the company that we would like to point out is in the textile vertical, it's highly competitive industry because there's a very minimal differentiation in the product that we are going to produce when compared to the competitors. But yeah, we are green. We are reducing their BOD and COD, but the performance is going to be same. And the second point is that it's a very low margin industry because the products are divided between the middlemen and the distributors. And coming to the adoption cycle, it's 2 months. Starting from contacting a potential customer to getting an order, it's going to take 2 months. It's a long adoption cycle. And the second vertical is pulp and paper vertical. Here we have unique products. There's no competitors for us, but the problem comes here with the high investments in the machinery. Being in the chemical industry, we are supposed to install the machinery that needs to be, that's used in using our chemicals like dosing tanks and everything. So this will lead us into a high capital costs. And the adoption cycle is pretty long. It takes anywhere between 4 to 6 months to get an order from a new client. And the consumer products vertical, if we see that we have very limited products, we are in the introduction stage, but we have an edge that we are a Green Pro certified 100% clean products, which will give us the first mover advantage in this industry. And let's move to the strategy that we are going to suggest. So we are suggesting the strategy for every vertical in 3 stages. The first stage is in the first 1 year, immediately what the company have to focus on is a short-term plan. Here we suggest the company focus on the Indian markets and exhaust the Indian markets in the first year, because this is the data analysis that we have done with the sales projection in the US, that the data, and we've observed that all other regions are giving us the losses in the first 1 year that we cannot afford to bear. So also, it is also the case that we have spent a lot of money in the Indian market and burned the cash to establish ourselves as a textile company, which will which will make us not to invest more into acquiring a customer. So the company should focus on the Indian markets in the first 1 year. And moving to the second stage, in the second stage of the growth strategy is midterm plan for the 2 to 3 year plan. Here we suggest we eliminate the middlemen and the distributors and establish a direct to the customer kind of a distribution system like Asian Paints did, because it's a very low margin industry and we are dividing our profits between our middlemen and distributors. I understand for a growing company like us, it is difficult to eliminate the middlemen in the first 1 year time. So I would suggest we should start it in the second year and slowly, arrive at that in a longer term. So that will give us more profits in the industry. And one more suggestion we would like to make, the strategy that the company should follow is they can enter the Pakistan and Turkey markets, because we can see that Pakistan is giving us, we have to bear our losses in the first 1 year, which we can maybe afford to do in the first 1 year because of the revenues that we project to make in the first year in Indian market. And again, compared to any other global markets, Pakistan and Turkey are giving us more profits with the low capital investments. So in the midterm plan, the company should move to should try to enter the Pakistan and Turkey markets. And I would like to point that this projections are made based on the market share that the countries hold, the initial costs and the fixed cost. The variable costs are not again taken into the consideration here. And the long-term plan would be to invest in R&D to build the more finishing products for the company, because as we can see, 1/3 of the market is occupied with the finishing products, and we don't have any product in that from ETPL. So we suggest to invest in R&D to build the more finishing products. And we can also try to enter Bangladesh or Indonesian markets in the long-term plan, because we can see they also give us huge profits in the long run in the 5 years. But it may always vary because of the initial cost then. But we suggest there is a chance to move into Bangladesh market because of the low capital, the low cost of labor that is there in the Bangladesh, which will majorly look at as the export of textiles in the Bangladesh market. And that will give us a target to a large scale of industries there. So moving forward, the next strategy will be taken up by my teammate Adokshaj.
So thank you, Sadhvita. Moving on. So for the strategy for pulp and paper vertical, we have segmented it into the 3 growth stages, like mentioned by my teammate. So in the first year, in the pulp and paper chemical industry, we we will be focusing on the Indian markets because the profits that we are going to make in the long term in Indian markets is more when compared to other countries, and because the pulp and paper industry needs more capital investment in terms of machinery and more expenses. So moving on to the next slide, I'll be explaining about the second and third year. So in the second and third year plans, we can say that investing in R&D for more innovative products would be a better suit for this pulp and paper vertical in terms of our company, because we have already exhausted 25% of our market, and we can do more if we have potential products enough to garner attention from the potential customers. 3 to 5 years, we can go on with new products. We can in the next 3 to 5 years, we can introduce new products and new products in finishing and specialty coatings, where we can see that there are no products from ETPL in that segment. So going into that segment would definitely help us in gaining more customer base. Moving to the next slide. So we've also identified that household care products market in India is growing rapidly. So in the Indian household cleaners market, it is expected to reach around 18,000 million USD, exhibiting a CAGR of 19.63 during 22 to 27, which means that there is a lot of potential in the household care products, and that is why we are venturing into it. So in terms of B2C, there is a lot of potential that this company can benefit from. The Pro Earth also has the potential. The brand that we have established in the market also has the potential of increasing our valuation, ETP's valuation, by many-fold in the long term. Moving on to the next slide. So we have segmented, we have done the STP analysis of Pro Earth as a brand. So we have segmented the brand Pro Earth from age 17 to 60 for the urban working class and early adopters. According to the theory of diffusion of innovation, we can say that the early adopters are the more likely to take new products and use them. So we are targeting the people who are environment conscious, targeting the people who are upper middle classes and urban locations, because in the initial, we are actually in the initial phase of the Pro Earth as a brand, and we haven't established ourselves as a brand yet. So targeting urban locations would fetch us better results in terms of our positioning as well, because we're positioning it as a mass premium product, and there are high chances that urban locations would like it more friendly and would be likely to buy the product in terms of pricing and superior quality. The alternatives that we are offering, it is also eco-friendly and safe, which will increase our chances of getting better customers, more number of customers in the long run. Moving to the next slide. So we have again divided the strategy for consumer products in 3 stages. The first year, we will be building the brand for Pro Earth through various marketing channels. We will be discussing about different kinds of marketing channels that we will be using in the next slides. Going further, we will also be targeting the industrial cleaning and healthcare industry, because it also has the potential of giving us great revenue in terms of our sales. Moving on to the second and third year, we will be increasing our marketing budget and will focus on reaching out to more outlets, which will help us in gaining more customers. Then we can plan on launching the product globally in the long term, from 3 to 5 years, as we gain traction and gain more revenue out of it. Moving on. So we have also found that there is a scope of expansion, that we can take advantage of our existing customer base from paper, pulp, and textile industry, and move on to the use it for our advantage to introduce the product called Pro Earth Plus, which is a cleaning solution for the industrial use. We can introduce this product to get to leverage our customer base that we already have established in terms of pulp and paper industry, and ask them to use this product, try this product, and then make good sales out of it, because there is a trust factor involved in this, because people have already trusted us as a company. So if we offer them a new product which is clean and green and which is environment friendly, it will in turn help them in becoming a greener company. Yeah. So we have also panned out different kinds of marketing strategies that we could use for Pro Earth, because we need to create the presence that is lacking in the market. So Pro Earth is lacking the presence that it needs, it deserves. So we start with social media marketing, as it is the most cost-effective way. Social media marketing will help us in posting content online and creating content which is very engaging to the potential customers and reaching more number of people in less number of time, in less amount of time. And then we can move on to influencer marketing, which is another way of garnering more attention, wherein we can influence the decision making of our potential customers. We can ask them to move from a chemical based products to a green and a biodegradable product, which is our product. So we can use content marketing to keep the content very engaging. We could post stuff like our product saves certain amount of water in and certain amount of water, and you don't have to put in a lot of effort to do the stuff that other products will let you do. So that is one thing. So content marketing would go hand in hand with the influencer and social media marketing, along with guerrilla and event marketing. So in guerrilla marketing, we could place interesting creative billboards, creative boards in places where we see a lot of inflow of people, we see a lot of traffic. So people could see our product, and it would in turn help in increasing the brand recall of our company. So event marketing is another thing that we can foray into. In event marketing, we can invest in different kind of events. We can kind of sponsor different kinds of marathons which are environment friendly, which will in turn help in promoting our product to reach a lot of people at once, and it is also cost effective. Next. So the prime focus of marketing strategy of Pro Earth would be to establish itself as a brand in the market. As soon as we establish Pro Earth as a brand, we can, looking at the sales data, we can make sure that all our products are doing well. In case one of the products is not doing well, we can use the product bundling strategy, wherein a star product would be bundled along with a product which is not doing well in the market, and we can sell that along with the sell that as one unit. So the second product will also get the recognition that it deserves. It will also be used by people. People will try it and then move on to start using the product, and which will create a repeat customer base for us. So focusing on positioning the product as an environment friendly and affordable alternative is another way of looking at it. We are focusing our product as an environment friendly and alternative, which is very affordable, because we are only pricing it at around 15 to 20% more than other natural products. The content to educate our customers on energy saving and resources. So we are mainly focusing on creating content which will educate our customers, educate our potential customers to use the product, how it is saving their energy and how they are saving on the resources by using our product. We can use
time is up.
Yeah, last 2 minutes. So using SDG as a leverage to promote our products, we can target our customers and help them in reducing their carbon footprint. As in corporate customers that we have, we can make them go greener by using our products. Moving on to the next slide, please.
So the financial roadmap of the next 5 years, we would like to talk about it. We talked about strategy and marketing. So the opting out for strategic investors in the initial stage will come at the cost of valuation, which we cannot afford because we have to increase the value for our stakeholders. And B2C is one such market which have potential to increase our company valuation by 3 times. And we have switching to strategic investors in a long term would be more beneficial than switching them right now. So this is how the exact roadmap will look like. So in the first year, we will depend mostly on the profits we are making and the low cost debts as much as we can acquire. In the 2 to 3 year midterm plan, we can still depend on the profits we are making, but we are still going to the financial investors, but not diluting the company more than 5 to 10%, because we need this money in, in increasing the marketing budgets for our consumer products and reaching to more number of outlets. This will, make us build a brand in a brand in 3 years in the B2C industry that will increase our company's valuation. And then if we switch to strategic investors who will help us in reaching globally to the consumer markets. And then once we're switching to strategic investors, we need to provide exit to the initial investors, so that with the help of the revenues and the funds that we have, so that we are not diluting our company more than 35%, thereby establishing bringing a high value to the company and to each stakeholder. And yeah, we understand there's a human resource implication to all the strategies that we have told, but given the 2 days time that we got to propose this plan, this is what we could come up with, and would love to propose it more detail if we had more time about this. And yeah, thank you. So
Thank you.
any questions, sir?
Yeah, you can unshare.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. This nice feel good presentation. Very good. We are waiting for the last 2 slides, but again, the numbers are not there. At the end of the day, you spend a lot of time with a very good idea of Pro Earth Plus, right? But I think you spent a lot of time talking about marketing strategies for Pro Earth Plus, which is the second stage after you get the entire thing cleared, right?
That marketing strategies for the first year to build the brand. Then in the next 2 years, we will talk about investing more.
I understand, sir. What I'm trying to say is, as board members, what we are looking at is, what is my revenue stream? How is it going to come? When is it going to come? What are the numbers? Unless I know the numbers, I'm not going to give the contract to you as a consultant.
Right.
So then you come out with the strategy of saying, this is what we would like to do. This is what the marketing strategy can be. This is what the investments can be. How it can be done. Right? Whether it is guerrilla marketing or it is going to be influencer marketing, whatever it is, you can divide that and later on explain. What happened was that you have spent a lot of time. Instead of that time you could have spent on an Excel sheet and presented the numbers like what you showed in the last slide. First year, how it is going, second year, how is it going. So it gives a clarity to the board by saying, okay, this is how, if I'm going to spend my money with them, they are going to help me move forward in this manner, so that I have a confidence with myself. You understand where I'm coming from?
Right, sir.
Right. Okay. The other only one more question I have is, initially you said you wanted to eliminate middlemen in the second year.
Yes, sir.
And what could be the challenges or concerns that might arise in case you try to do that? Start doing it.
Actually, our customers are trusting our middleman and buying our product. We may have to build that trust again in that factor. It will be a bigger challenge. And through middlemen and distributors, we can reach to a large number of customers without actually putting our salesmen into the program. That is one second challenge. So human resource implication will be a major challenge in the 2-3 years. But we believe that in the longer run, that is going to fetch us more profits when we eliminate the middlemen and distributors.
Beautiful. Now you have answered what I want. Now, when you have put an Excel sheet, you would have put in how much you spend on human resources, how much of money you would have spent on distributors, what is it? The whole thing, expenditure part of it, you would have easily worked out, right? Revenue versus your expenditure, and the entire costing can be dealt with. You would have come out with a number. Then you would have had much more better clarity of whether you want to eliminate in the second year or the third year and how you want to phase it out and do that. That's a plan which you could have presented to us, which would have been much more clearer.
Yes.
Maybe you had it in your mind. I'm not saying that you guys did not have it in your mind. That could have been presented to the board. That would have got much more clarity. Anyway, it was a good presentation. Let me tell you, the way you guys articulated the entire thing, the way you went for it, that was very nice.
Thank you, sir.
Neil, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So team, I think a good presentation in the amount of time that you had. I think that's okay. And I would echo the same thoughts which SKG was talking about the numbers part. I think one very good thing that you spoke about was the roadmap. You gave a roadmap, a short-term plan, a medium-term plan. But I think that supported with numbers would have made it a little better. Just before I come to the question, one small suggestion is that what is your role? Your role is can you tell me what was your role in terms of presenting this?
We are strategic consultants, as far as I know.
Yes. So you were saying that we will do this, we will do that. So instead of that, it was more in terms of your findings and your recommendations. So it was more in terms of what the company should do and what you have found, what the company has done so far. I think that language perspective is probably a little bit more critical. So having heard about all the things that you spoke, I don't want to come to the verticals. So you have spoken a lot about the verticals, but at a company level, what are the solutions that you say, the top 2 solutions that the company should do today so that it could achieve a particular goal at the end of 5 years?
So focus on the Indian markets. Let's not move to the international markets right away because it's a high cost investment for us. Second thing I would say, the consumer product, what we have, divert that, introduce that in the industry sector so that we have a revenue model built for us. That is what immediately the company can start doing, is what we believe.
To add to her point, I would like to say that we have already burned a lot of cash in the recent years. We have recently broke even last year. So looking at that, I think we should be looking for more cost-effective alternatives that we have, like we should focus on Indian markets, like she said.
Also about the finances, the data that we got, we didn't have any data that says what is the cost of making it. So yeah, we could have assumed it, but in the time we had, this is what we could put up in. Yeah, of course, we would have made it more. Should have made it more detail in the finances part, but we couldn't get the time to do that.
Okay, and just to understand that at whichever point the company's position would be 5 years down the line, which businesses do you think would contribute how much to each of to the final target after 5 years?
So if the company follows the strategies that we have suggested and focus on the consumer market as equal as their focus, as equal as the other 2 the B2B market, we would say that the consumer market can contribute to at least 30 to 40%, and the rest 60% can be covered by textile and pulp.
Okay. Thanks a lot for that, and over to you, Vinay.
Yes, Sadvita and Adokshaj, I think in the short time that you had, I think you come up with an excellent presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Though, like you said, if you had some more time to actually work on the numbers, maybe you could have come up with a more comprehensive presentation. One of the case questions which was you had to tackle was, the financial objectives of the company, will it be met in the 5 years that, so what do you think? Do you think it will be met in the 5 years, or we cannot meet it?
We can meet it, sir. According to me, whatever I understood about the case and whatever we worked on, we can meet it, given that we also use the consumer product that we made to make the revenues. Like we are making very less revenue in the consumer model. So that will have more, we believe the product has more potential. So they should, target it in the industrial sector, in the B2B, selling it to industries and selling it to corporates and selling it to healthcare industry. We'll get just a revenue for the product we already have. We don't have to invest more in the, to get that profits, is what we felt. Yeah. So given that this can be done and focus on the Indian markets, and then, the last stage, if we can move to, Pakistan or some countries like that, it can be met in the next 5 years, is what we believed.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. I think exhaust the Indian markets because it's still a high growth market.
Yeah.
Though the market for probiotics and organic products are still it's a tough ask because one, it's more expensive and it's a tough ask to market it. And
But the advantage we have is that we are not pricing it 2 times like any other company is doing. Some companies who claim to have green products price it 2-3 times more. But we have a very competitive pricing. So given the right marketing, we can, reach that market is what we believed, like what we understood from this case.
right. And one of the other questions posed in the case was about having a strategic or financial investor.
Right.
What do you recommend for that?
As mentioned in the roadmap in the last slide, the first 3 years we shouldn't go to strategic investors because they're bringing us low value, like they are giving us low value to the company, 20% lower value if I'm not wrong. So first 3 years they should increase the value of the company and have a brand built so that strategic investors then come in and give us a platform to grow globally. That would be an ideal strategy to do because that way we have a high value of the company. We have a good product in the market in both B2B and B2C, and as well as we'll be having a product ready to grow globally.
To add to that, I think in the long term, the strategic investors will definitely help us in expanding our business abroad because we are already planning on expanding our business in the international market. So getting strategic investors in that time would help us in expanding as well. So we should look for getting the financial investors at this point, and then moving on, we can go for strategic investors. Yeah.
Okay. So it'll probably be a difficult choice for the company because it needs funds to grow. So will it go for a high cost debt option or would it go for financial strategic investors? Yeah, that's a call. It's a tough call to make because you need the funds to grow. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
right. Good. Otherwise, good presentation in the short time that you had. And right. So all the best to both of you in your
all the best.
Thank you, sir.
I would like to say that it was really exciting to work on this case because working on the real life cases like this was a really exciting case for both of us to work on. Even it was a 2 days time, we wanted to put whatever we can do.
Yeah.
So the case was very interesting and it was very exciting for us to work on this case. And thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, I would like to thank.
Whatever you said, it looks as if you guys have understood the case very clearly. You understand the entire thing. But the only thing is, instead of focusing on that
marketing
other thing, if you had focused on the existing customers, attempting at the existing, that is a fantastic point, right? Using that, if you had worked on an Excel sheet, you would have had your numbers ready. The numbers are there. You just had to pick it up and work on that.
Okay.
Because you really understood the case from whatever Neil asked, May has asked me, you're really able to bring out the intricacies of the case. Right? That is the most important thing.
Thank you, sir.
That's the biggest strength both of you have.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Good, confident presentation. That's what I liked. I think you're able to defend your positions well. So that's good. I'm sure further presentations you'll be doing exceedingly well. So did you come into your B school with some work ex or was it are you freshers?
I've had 1 year work experience, sir.
In tech or finance or?
It's in operations and marketing, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where did you work before?
I worked in an edtech company. It's a startup. I worked there for a year. And then I worked with TIE Hyderabad, if somebody of you know.
The Indus entrepreneurs.
Yeah, I was with TIE for like very brief period, but I was heading their education vertical there.
Okay, very good.
So before joining my B school, I worked as a freelance web developer. Before that, I used to work for Amazon as a customer service executive. Yeah.
Interesting. I hope your MBA helps you in catapulting your careers to a high growth. Good. All the best to both of you, and thank you for participating.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving us this opportunity, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Team 3. We have a special educational AV from Aditya Birla Sun Life Mutual Fund.
Nivesh Fables presents Choose Your Advisor Wisely.
There were 2 rabbits. Willy was the wise one and Fred was not so wise. They were walking through a field and came upon 2 carrots. Fred excitedly rushed and picked up a carrot, but it was smaller than it looked. He was confused, so Willie said, "Judging a carrot by its leaves is not the right way." After walking for some time, they came across another set of carrots. This time, Willie chose the carrot first. Fred thought, "How come the carrot with smaller leaves is small?" Willie replied, "I do not judge a carrot by its leaves." For the third time, they found 2 carrots again. Willie pulled out 1 carrot and offered it to his friend. Fred was still confused and said, "I don't know how you do it, but I guess you're just smarter than me." "Fred, I may have the wisdom, but I share it with others and help them benefit from it too. You're my friend, you trust me, and I want you to have this carrot." In real life, while making investment decisions, don't we all look for an advisor like Willie, who wouldn't just look at the leaves superfluously, but analyze, inspect, understand the investments thoroughly, and suggest the right one for us? Someone who we can trust our hard-earned money with. As they say, if you look for a financial advisor, look for someone with the heart of a teacher and the soul of a friend. Have you found yours? An investor education and awareness initiative of Aditya Birla Sun Life Mutual Fund. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
Now I invite Team 4 to present their case solution.
Ishita and Sumit, welcome to the BLoC Boardroom Challenge.
Thank you so much.
Good morning, sir, and thank you. Good morning. Thank you for participating. Quickly to introduce the judges, we have Neel Ratna Chobal from Aditya Birla Group, Aditya Birla Capital actually, and we have Shivakumar,
Good morning, sir.
based in Chennai. Right. So without further ado, you can start your presentation. You can start sharing your screen, and all the best.
Afternoon, the board members. So today we are going to present on the growth strategy for Envirotech Private Limited, which is also known as ETPL. So our team members are Ishita Chaudhary and Sumit Mishra. So first we will see have its presence in the market in the coming 5 years. So we will see the 4 aspects of the current market summary. First is that the company developed 100% biodegradable, non-toxic surfactants. It is for the good for the society. And then next is with the textile vertical, where the different products were introduced and increased the value chain from 7% to 25%. Next is, it actually took some time to show the results as the industry was more focused into cost rather than environment. And the fourth one is that they also extended or expanded their reach to the biogas products as well as the consumer products. Next, we will see the opportunities for the market. The first opportunity is that there are no substitutes. Like the first product in the pulp and paper vertical was very unique, as there were no other substitutes in the industry at that time. Then next is the customers. The paper and pulp vertical solved serious pain points of the customers. The company also started gaining some market very quickly.
Good morning, board members. So, as my colleague Ishita,
sorry to interrupt, but your bandwidth is very low, and we are
gave you
unable
brief
to
information about.
hear you properly.
what's the company objective and what, without compromising our current sustainably growing. This is like quite challenging, and we need to focus on very.
Sumit.
Yeah.
Yeah, your bandwidth is very low, so your voice gets, it breaks.
I'm sorry. Am I audible right now, sir?
Yeah, right now your guys are audible. Yeah.
So should I begin from start from where I started?
From here.
Okay, so okay. So the objectives of our company is quite clear. We are here to increase the shareholders' wealth, but not at the cost of environment. We will try to sustainably grow, keeping shareholders' focus in mind. So there are some challenges which we need to focus in different sectors. The company started with the textile vertical. It was the first vertical on which the company started to introduce its products. But the main issue is that no margin is left because of middlemen and distribution channel. So there's quite less gross profit margin, so that the R&D team is like unable to focus on new products and development on the products. So, and textile vertical is also like, there are two markets for textile verticals. One is domestic and the other one is global market, which is heavily dependent on Europe and America. So owing to their demand, the textile vertical is quite fluctuating. So according to the demand, the textile vertical works, and therefore there's like need to work on the domestic market outreach in this vertical. The second point is the average contact commercial time in this is around 4 to 6 months. So the condition of raw material quality changes, and due to which the variable cost is also like substantially high. So the R&D team
Sumit, there's some problem. Vinay, if it's okay, can they switch off their video?
It looks like we have completely lost him.
I know. Can they switch off the video, Vinay? Not able to.
I'm sorry, sir, that we disconnected.
Hey, you got disconnected, is it?
Actually, the net here. We are currently in our institute in the.
Okay, not an issue. Can you switch off your video and then try? You can just we will just hear you out. Let the sharing happen. Share your presentation and then just you don't have to be on the video.
Oh, it's very bad, sir.
Very bad.
Or Vikram, can you connect with them and explore the possibility of mobile hotspot or something of that sort that works out, that has a better bandwidth?
Yeah, Sumit, can you connect through your mobile hotspot if your institute bandwidth is low? And switch off your video. You don't need to be on video. Just share your presentation and speak. That's enough, so that you can save on some bandwidth.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Trying.
Presentation.
Sir, am I audible to you right now?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay, sir. So I'm starting from the textile vertical, or sir, should I begin with where I left?
No, you can start with pulp and papers.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. So the pulp and paper vertical, so normal contact to commercial order time for this paper vertical is around 4 to 6 months. And due to this much longer time, there are chances that raw material quality they change over due to this long period of time, and it results in high variable cost. And due to this, the R&D team will at them and also try to introduce new products. So we need to make sure that the lean time in this vertical is less. So the point of extraction and point of delivery, the time period between them should be low. So the level of awareness among the customers, because of there are many products available currently in the market. So I'm audible, no? Hello.
Yes, you're audible. Although it's breaking in places, but it's sometimes it's audible.
I'm so sorry, sir. Thank you, sir. So the main challenge is this in this vertical is the amount of awareness, the level of awareness among the customers. Because of vast presence of different products of different quality, we need to pitch what really we are. We are the only one which is 100% biodegradable and non-toxic products which we are offering among the customers. Along with that, we need to also smartly manage the cost of advertising of our products, because ETPL has just started, so it doesn't have that amount of funds available in with them. So we need to first focus and establish ourselves well on e-commerce website, and then we need to further go on offline stores. So as per our first question, is it more economical or capital efficient in the to first exhaust markets in India, or we should start exploring markets abroad? So here are some key points which we gathered from the data available with us. So market share in the future, around 42 for 2023, it's expected to grow with that rate. The same goes with pulp and paper vertical also, as India has the highest share of around 70% of market in ETPL for ETPL. So, and as we have seen, as the data shows in the paper itself, that consumer products vertical, it has a market cap of around 60,000 crores, which is mostly untapped. So ETPL's focus should be primarily going and venturing in this Indian market and exploring new ways to pitch themselves and spread among the customers. The Indian market, we need to try to make presence, but we should not give up the ideas of expanding abroad. As we will see in the further slides that there are markets like Indonesia, Pakistan, Nepal, and Bangladesh, which have a high growth rate, but they have an entry cost which is required to go. But India, because ETPL is an Indian company, it does not require to give a fixed one-time cost of entering into the market. So our main focus should be expanding and developing our markets and stand in India, and then we should focus on abroad markets. Second question, which was which we need to focus is on the company. Should company continue with the industrial products, or should we used to deal with large dealers, large companies? But with changing times, we need to change our stand also. So the entering of a company in B2C segment should be welcome, as the market of 60,000 crores is mostly not till yet explored. Sales will grow by 35 times and offline sales will increase by 86 times within the stipulated time of next 5 years. So, and because of our R&D team is still working with a very high rate, so the number of products is also increasing. It will be quadrupling in amount of 5 years. So the level of revenue which we will be able to generate in B2C segment would be quite more than B2B segment. To be specific, it will be around 3 times the revenue generated by B2B segment. So we should try to focus on consumer products as well, and we can start that right now for the next 5 years. And we can also search in new avenues itself, like collaborating with B2B as well as B2C markets combined. The main question of expanding and like entering the new market is the requirement of funding. So in the initial phase, when our 3 investors, when our 3 founders, they like had the funding, but because we need to expand right now, we also need funding. So the main question is, should we seek out financial investors or should we go for the strategic investors? So according to us, we should go for the financial investors. My colleague Ishita will now give you the answers of why we should go for financial investors.
Thank you, Sumit. Both financial and strategic investors are showing strong interest in the company. The one catch is that while offering far lower valuations than financial investors, the strategic investors would require at least 51% of the company. But considering that these investors own 52% of the company right now, it is the right time for the company to grant exit to the early investors. As a result, there may be some secondary stake accessible for the strategics. Given their existing infrastructure and potential to quickly expand globally, the strategics can help the organization maintain financial stability. We are not going global, so therefore we feel that the financial strategics or the financial investors would be a better option. Now, Sumit will be saying the further.
Our next question will be like, since our objective was to maximize the shareholders' wealth, and our objective was also to venture into new products, new arenas, so that we can like have a presence in Indian market as well as global market itself. So Ishita rightly said, as we are like focusing primarily on the Indian market, so first we need to make our presence stronger in the Indian market. Currently, the promoters and ESOP group, which is Employee Stock Options Group, they are having 48% of shares with us. So according to us, there are 3 ways through which we can like have the highest value, from which we can get the funding to expand, to develop, to launch new products. So the first one is that we can reduce the amount of promoters and ESOP share to the minimum possible value so that we can get
time is up.
Actually, like I thought we will be like having a buzzer. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead and finish your presentation. No problem.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. So the first option which we will be like focusing on is like reducing the current level of promoters and ESOP share in the group, in the company, which is around 48% to around 35%, so that we can get some liquidity, we can get some fundings through which we can like try to build new products. Also, the company can ask its initial investors, the existing investors, to give more cash flows so that we can like increase their wealth as well, and also it will give us the funding which is required to currently expand and develop products. And we can also issue bonds, like we can go IPO, we can launch IPO, so that we can have the required amount of funding without going below the 35% of stakes of promoters and ESOP. So these are some of the data which we have collected and like try to present. The growth rate, as I just mentioned earlier in the slides. So in the countries like Vietnam, Malaysia, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, we have higher growth than India. But the point is that the cost of entry in these countries are quite substantially higher than India. India doesn't have any entry to the cost. Also, the annual fixed deposit in these countries are also high as compared to India. So the textile vertical, which was the first vertical in India of the company, so we should try to make sure that the expected market share is also, as we can see in the graph in India, the expected market share of the company in India is growing quite a lot as compared to Bangladesh, Vietnam, and Malaysia. So we should focus on Indian markets. In the pulp and paper vertical, we can see that market size of $6 billion is available, but the main markets on which we are dependent are Europe and Americas in the overseas. And the expected market growth in the subsequent years, as we can see, it is starting from 2023 and it's going to 2027. So India is showing the highest growth rate among all the members currently in the world. So we should try to focus. This is also one of the main points, that we should focus first in our own country, try to expand and feature new products so that we can have the most out of it. This is the graph. This is the graph for the consumer products available with us. So we can see that the orange color, which is showing the online sales, so it is growing quite exponentially. It is growing from around 1.1 crore to 90 crore in 2027. Also, the yellow line, which you can see, is the manpower cost. It is quite proportionally equivalent in all the graphs. So we are not incurring more cost. We can also see, along with manpower, we have promotional costs and other costs, which is also included, but that is not impacting our total gross profit. So we should continue venture into the consumer products, as it was asked in the question, if we should focus on industrial products or we should go in consumer products. So we can see that the growth from 2023 to 2027 is around triple growth we have, and we will getting triple revenue in this. So thank you for your time, judges, and we are open for any questions.
You can unshare, please. Sumit, can you unshare?
Yeah, sure, sir.
And you can come. You can switch on your video after unshare. Yeah. Good job. Yeah, the only thing is, since we went through some hitches, maybe you guys knew, because you're in college, you knew about the internet, then maybe you could have chosen a different location so that it would have been easier for you. You didn't have to go through the hitches when you're making a presentation. Okay, then. But where are the numbers? You've shown me a graph, you've shown me this thing, but where are the numbers? Because unless we see the numbers, it does not correlate with whatever you are showing, right?
I totally agree with you, sir. But like, if I included the numbers in the graph itself, so it would be quite hodgepodge. It would be like
not necessarily you don't have to include the graph. You could have separate Excel sheet of a financial statement itself. The financial statement sheet could have been added.
Yes, sir.
The initial stages of talking about ETPL to ETPL could have been avoided, and an Excel sheet could have been added there, so that it would have become the clarity would have been much better.
Yes, sir. I totally agree, sir.
That is one of the suggestions that you have. It's one of the basic things that is missing.
Yes,
assuming that was there, I think you guys would have, irrespective of all the hitches, you guys would have really given us a better picture of how you approach the thing. Anyway, Neil.
Yeah, sure. I think, yeah, the thing is that, if we had a better bandwidth from your end, it would have made it much more smoother for us to hear.
I'm so sorry, sir, about that.
Yeah. So, I was going through, some of the slides and I was not able to hear you. But, there's this one interesting thing, which you're talking about, whether it is more economical or capital efficient to, first exhaust the Indian markets, or go abroad. I think there, I just got one question for you from there. Is that you're talking about the opportunities in different verticals, and while you would focus on the competitors who are big companies, how is it that you would deal with smaller companies who are of the same range of business size as yours, and they would also come out with certain competitive products? Let's say if they come out with competitive products in the same area as you are working on, what are the different things that you would do? Don't tell me the same old things that you would go on to this solution and that solution. Tell me something different that you would do.
I totally agree with you, sir, because not every market is like present there which doesn't have any competitor. So if you are like going into any field, let's suppose it may be paper vertical or pulp vertical, so there might be competitors, already established competitors as well as new competitors which are like us. So first of all, we need to like do marketing research about that. First of all, we need to make sure where should we go, where should we invest, because we already have a capital budgeting. We can't go beyond that because we are like a small cap company. So we need to like seriously make sure that we are utilizing as much as possible our resources. So in the paper vertical, as we can see that we introduce a product which doesn't have any competitors. So we can go ahead with that. Apart from that, we have also like we just developed a new surfactants which is 100% biodegradable, and also it is non-toxic. So we can also advertise that point of that thing to our customers so that they can also like they can also see the difference between the products.
We have also seen that the customers are unaware of the products. So the first thing we can do is we have to make our customers aware by advertising our products.
Okay. And your focus on which vertical would be primary?
So the consumer products.
Consumer products. Okay.
It is so because it is largely untapped, and the area of like from the past data which we can see, which was given in the case study, we are like exponentially growing, not only in the revenues but also in R&D side also. We have increased our number of products from 1 to 20. So it is quite promising. This sector is quite promising. The textile and the pulp vertical, it is largely based on B2B sectors. We have to like, and the pulp vector, the paper and pulp vector it's quite prone to like having high variable cost as compared to consumer products. So our focus will be on that.
Okay, and if you were to take a second chance, that let's not go with this order of which you have said, what is the order that you would select?
So if I can like reframe the question which has asked, if the first option is not consumer product vertical, so what would it had been, right?
Yeah.
So it would be like paper and pulp verticals.
Okay.
Because the main issue with the textile is that the margin which we are making due to mills and the middlemen, we are like having roughly any margin left so that we can reinvest that capital for R&D. So due to which there is the R&D time, the new product launch time, it's quite high as compared to all other verticals present with our company. So
okay.
The focus would be yes. Thank you.
I just have one question. Please correct me if I'm wrong. When Ishita was presenting on whether it is a strategic investor or a financial investor slide, she was talking about the existing stakeholders to be given a kind of an exit so that they move on. And so you get enough in your hand, right? And later on, you at the end of the slide, you mentioned that instead of strategic, you want to go into financial investor, right? That's what you had mentioned. The very next slide, when Sumit was talking about paper and pulp, he was talking about requesting the existing investors to pump in more money for funding. Now, I was a little confused with these two slides. What I mean, is there a disconnect there, or is it we have to treat these two slides separately?
So, Ishita, what Ishita was trying to say, like the strategists, they are also like trying to acquire 51% of the company, 52% of the company. But the thing is that they were not like readily available. They will be beneficial for us, like if we are going to explore ventures outside India, like if we are going. So our current objective is to like explore the market within India. So that was a primary reason that we will be focusing on financial investors in the country. And in the next slide, which you are talking about, is like, first of all, we can like build relationship with our like current stakeholders. It's not like that we are having relationship only of money with them. If we can share our experiences and ideas. If they are like happy or like they have some feedback regarding that, we should be the first one. They should be the first one who should know about what ideas and what things which you are really talking about. So my main point regarding that was like we should first communicate with our existing investors so that they can have a clarity where we are going the next 5 years, what we are trying to do, and if they are eager or if they are interested, so that they can also like reinvest with us. So it's like
and that is where I'm coming from, because your financial investor is already pumped money to you, assume you are going with it. Then you are asking in case these people are you are saying talking about selling about your future to the existing investors, and if they are interested, they can reinvest. This is what you are getting at, right? They can invest in case they are interested in whatever you are planning.
Their screen is frozen.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We are sorry, sir. Actually, there was a network issue.
No. What I'm saying is that financial institutions have already pumped in money. So next one, what you're saying is that, you are going to talk about the plans of the organizations to the existing customers. In case they are interested, they can reinvest. That's what you said right now?
Yes, sir. It's not like they have pumped in a lot of money or they can't. We are like, they would be the first. They would be our priority. They will be the prime members through whom we will be like sharing the ideas that this is the thing which you're going to do in the future. This is our agenda for the next 5 years. So like if you are in the state of reinvesting with us, if you are like there to show trust on us, we can go ahead and do this. And we have other options as well as with us. So we want them to have an upper hand. We are giving them an upper edge so that they can have their say in what we are doing. So it's like that.
Fair. Vinay?
Yes. Good effort, Ishita and Sumit.
Thank you, sir.
I think you've gone straight to the questions which the case posed, and you tried to answer each one of them. But as SK had pointed out, if you had kind of massaged the numbers, it would have been more revealing. So one of the questions posed was, will the company be able to meet its financial objectives? What do you have to say for that?
Yes, sir. The company will be company will definitely be able to meet the financial number which it has. But it depends on how better they are doing the things which we are envisaging in the consumer products vertical. If we are doing well, because our main target, or as we can say, we are transitioning from B2B to B2C segment. So we should need to do really well in B2C segment. Then only we will be able to envisage what the numbers we like have presented before you. So we need to focus on that segment. It's our primary target.
Okay. Though even the B2C segment will be extremely competitive. So that's also,
sir, so
well, the
our
margins
US
are better.
Correct, sir.
So they're not getting traction will take some time.
Yes, sir, it will take some time, but the rate with which we are improving, we are introducing new products and the outreach in the market. So it's all saying that we can do a lot better than what we are doing, and we can have a great presence in the India market in B2C sector. Because our USP is that we are not only 100% biodegradable, we are also non-toxic. And the plus point is that these sort of products are usually charged at 2 times higher than normal chemical products. But we are charging only 15 to 20% above the chemical products available in the market. So if you look at that point, that thing, so we can like invest some amount of money which is remaining in advertisement of these USPs. So we can have a better outreach on the customers.
And also, sir, actually, since the world is moving towards the greener alternatives now, so since our product is providing 100%, 100%, like it's 100% non-biodegradable, so definitely it's the future. I would say that it is really the future, since the future is going towards green. So and if we make the customers more aware of what are the consequences if we don't use greener alternatives, so what can happen, so then only the customers can know that what our product actually is. So it would be definitely, it's a very high, it will have a high market share in the future.
Right. Good effort. All the best to both of you.
Thank you, Team 4. We will now have the comments for each team's presentation, followed by announcement of the winners for today's round.
So today we'll have SK, you announced the winner today.
Okay.
So Neil, you go first with your comments, please, on today's round.
Sure. So today we had a wonderful presentation, I think, with groups from Hyderabad, and they made a great attempt to analyze the case study. A good approach in terms of how to solve the case study, and also arrive at different solutions. So it was nice to see the way they went about that.
Right. I'll give my comments now. Okay. So today's Hyderabad round was marked by good competition among the 4 teams today. They had a good understanding of the case, and except that some of them, while tackling the questions posed by the case, did not really go deep into the numbers, which would have made their case solution more complete. And the team which came out on top today did just that. So they really focused on the numbers and came up with the right solutions. But overall, it was a high level of competition. So all the best to all the teams.
Today, Hyderabad session was very interesting. All the 4 teams really understood the case very well. They tried to do their best, and it could have been much more tougher if a couple of teams had really crunched their numbers. They knew the solution, they knew what exactly to do, but the numbers crunching was not there. They had done it. It would have been quite a tough and very interesting day. The winners of today's session is Team 3, that is IIM Sambal. Wishing all the teams who have won so far and who are going to win in the future the very best for the finals.
Thank you, SK.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. This is Businessline on Campus Boardroom Challenge 2022.